Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of Team Sonic Racing. Team Sonic Racing, TSR, as it is known. Now, uh, Team Sonic Racing comes off after the Sonic and Sega All Star Racing series, where it was, starts with Sega's big racing series, where they had a bunch of their Sega characters all together for a big party racer, kind of like an equivalent to Mario Kart. It's kind of been attributed sometimes as like a Mario Kart clone at times, because it's like the Sega version, right? But Team Sonic Racing was Sega now doing a racing game with just the Sonic cast. They decided they weren't going to have any more Sega people in it. It was just going to be a Sonic racing game. This game was released in 2019 and is post Sonic Forces. So we're in the era of we're getting to the Renaissance. We're getting to the Sonic Renaissance in this era. We're in 2019, and the Sonic Renaissance didn't really start till 2020 when the first movie came out. So you do have to take that into equation when we play this game. So I played the entirety of the Team Sonic Racing Adventure mode, and I've played a lot of exhibition matches. So it's time now for my review of Team Sonic Racing. So, it has a story mode, which is dubbed adventure mode in the game. So the story mode is essentially that King Dodonpa, he gets Sonic and his friends, from all across, even different planes of freaking time and space, to get together and race. The whole purpose of the race is he is acquiring data for something. What that something is something you figure out during the events of the game, which I guess I'll spoil for you. It is an engine. An engine that runs on, teamwork and racing, right? It relies on teamwork. There is a bit in the game where they kind of want you to think the Donpa is Eggman, because they make the Donpa laugh like Eggman. He kind of has a bit of an Eggman look to him with, like, a mustache and everything. Then it's revealed, obviously, he's not Eggman. Then they do the thing where, oh, it's the Donpa working with. They do this big thing where they keep trying to make you think the Donpa is evil. And, of course, because they go so hard with it, when they finally reveal that, no, the Donpa is actually just a pretty cool dude, you're just rolling your eyes and going, ugh, okay. So I think that the story as an idea had merit. I think it had a good idea for a story. The Donpa, he runs the Donpa Motors, which is like the biggest freaking like motoring business on Earth, right? Type of thing, or practically in the universe. And I think, like, him being like, whoa, we're gonna have this big racing thing, a big race contest, and I'm gonna use the data to, go towards my brand new engine. Like, I feel like that has merit, right? That has a good idea on paper. It is, of course, execution is, the problem with this, and it was not executed well. A lot of the dialogue in this is just bad. It's just bad juvenile dialogue that, like, a 5-year-old wrote. Like, it's really bad at times. They waste a lot of time too, because it's like, oh, we can't move the plot along. We have to just tread water for a bit, right? So they just say a bunch of useless garbage that doesn't mean anything and doesn't work. And does it advance the plot? It just doesn't, really. It just shouldn't be there, really. At that point, I would have liked it if there was just no cutscene at all, and you had just moved on. Not everything needs a cutscene. They tried to have a cutscene through like every major point in the game. That doesn't need to happen. If you don't have anything useful to say, I would have just not said anything. Speaking of those cutscenes, there aren't actually any cutscenes in the game. The only cutscene you really get is the opening cinematic. Everything after that is a PNG slideshow. Now you must be like, ugh, really? A PNG slideshow? And that's a fair point, right? But I'm not against, like, the whole having the PNG backdrop with the PNGs, and then when they talk, the PNGs, kind of move forward and light up, because that's in RPGs all the time, right? I see that all the time in RPGs. I got no problem with that. Okay? My problem is the PNGs in question. What the hell are these? These are some of the worst PNGs I've ever seen in my life. It's like they were half-assed, thrown together just before they came to start making this game, and There you go. That's the PNGs. Because when you look at them, you're like, who is that? Is that Sonic? That's supposed to be Sonic? Oh my god, that's Sonic. Right? Like the Shadow one, I out loud was like, who the hell is this? Oh, hi. Oh, okay, so at least they're all
I'm here
teammates.
to do one thing. Win.
God, what is that? What the hell was that?
I'm here to do
What
one
are
thing.
you?
Win.
Oh my god, get away from me. That is ugly as all hell. Right? It is. They're really bad. The PNGs are really bad. I would have preferred you just take the stock PNGs and just use them. That would have been much better. Like what they do with Twitter takeovers. Like you could have just done that, and that would have been way better than whatever the hell these things were. And then we have the character of Dodonpa himself, right? A brand new character introduced to this game. I don't hate Dodonpa. I just don't have really any strong feelings for Dodonpa. He's a okay character. Like I said, the idea that, he runs this kingdom, which by the way I think is dumb that they make it that the Dodon Kingdom is another planet and not just on Earth, when it really should have just been a kingdom on Earth. Making it an entire planet, which is called Dodon Kingdom, I think is stupid. But I digress. I think it's fine. I think he's a fine guy. I don't have any strong feelings towards the Downpaw one way or the other. I really don't. He's okay. Whatever. And he's coming back in Sonic Racing Crossroads. So, cool for him. Now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay of the game. So, a lot of stuff to go over here. So, handling, I feel like the cars, they all handle very well. There's no real like, oh my god, these cars are slippery or whatever. They all handle very well. Of course, they all have different, you get a feel that the car is a bit different, not as much as like something from like, say Mario Kart or something, right? Where you can feel sometimes when a car is different. You can feel like, oh, this car is heavier, right? You don't really get that in this game. You get that a bit, but not tremendously, right? But overall, handling I think is great. Drifting is drifting. You have to drift in the game to get a boost, get over tight turns. One thing this game has, and it has the same thing in Mario Kart and pretty much every racing game ever, is sometimes when you hold to drift, your car drifts the other way. Fix this. Why is this still a problem in racing games? Fix this. You can do tricks in the air. When you take a big jump, you can do some tricks. Something that this has, unlike Sonic Racing Crossworlds, is you can actually fail the tricks. You have to time your tricks perfectly. Otherwise, if you fail, you will hit the ground. You won't get a boost, because if you do tricks, they give you a bit of a boost. You'll hit the ground, not get a boost, and you'll lose all your rings. And rings are used to like in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, they are used to make your car go faster. They enhance your speed a bit. So I like that idea, right? You have to time your tricks. You can't just do them willy-nilly like you can in a game like Sonic Racing Crossworlds. You do have to time your tricks and make sure you get it properly. So that is something I do like. Pretty much all the items in this game are wisps. They're all wisps. You have, the boost wisp, the white wisp, which boosts. You have the red wisp, which is burst, which is the stupidest freaking item in there. You have the jade wisp, which becomes ghost. That lets you go see through. You have the blue wisp for the block, which you use as just a regular block type of thing, right? You've got the rocket wisp, which is of course the rocket that's like your shell, right? Like your green shell type of thing. The worst one, I will definitely say, the one I hate the most is the gray wisp, which when you shoot it, and it's normally shot by whoever's in last place, you shoot it and it will go up to the front and it will create pillars of rock that get in your guy's way, right? They get in the person's way. If you use this wisp, you have no family, you have no friends, you are a loser. Anyone who uses this wisp, you are horrible. How dare you do this to people? You're horrible. Then we have, of course, a big aspect of the game, the team aspect. The team aspect. This is Team Sonic Racing after all. So, because it's a team aspect, you gotta make sure your team ranks properly, right? Even if you win the race, that's not a guarantee that you're gonna win the race. Your team has to be placed in higher positions, because every place gets like, they gets a point, right? So depending on the higher you are, the more points you have. So how do you try to have this happen? Well, you do a little bit of stuff during the race. You can do item trading, where you can if you have an item and you don't want it, you can give it to a teammate, and they will graciously accept. There is the slipstream. The character in your team who is the furthest ahead will have a slipstream that the other characters can ride on, and that will boost them a bit. And then if you can perform a skim boost, where you just where if one of your teammates gets hit, if you hit them back, it's like you hit them back into the race and they get a boost and they're up forward again. There's a slingshot, of course, where if you ride the slipstream for a long enough time, you can use that boost to pass your partner. And doing all of this attributes to like a team ultimate meter, when that happens, that's like you become invisible, you get a super boost, you glow gold type of thing. It's a team ultimate that you can do. If you time it just right and you get all your members to do it at the same time, it will last longer. If you do it one after the other, like, that doesn't work. Yeah, so I think the team aspect pretty cool, right, for Team Sonic Racing. I was a bit apprehensive at first. I'm like, ooh, how's this gonna go? But after playing the first couple games, I'm like, okay, not that bad. Something that did get bad, and still, as I play it, hurts me, is sometimes your teammates do not play ball with you. You have an item, and you're trying to give it to them, and they just don't accept the item. And at that point, you're like in first place. What can you do? You're doing all you can to help your teammate, which is giving them an item. And they just don't take the item. And they don't take the item, and then they start to go down and down in rank. So then you win the race, but because your teammates are so low, you don't actually win the race. I had that happen to me so many times. And it's infuriating. It really is infuriating that there's nothing I can do. I'm doing all I can, and the teammates don't go along with it, and they hold you back. And like I said, that's happened to me multiple times, and it's an annoyance. It really is an annoyance. Something that could have been done to fix that is maybe you don't do the whole points are accumulated at the end thing, and it's just position. Wherever you are in position is what matters, type of thing, right? You could still do the points accumulate thing, but for a different mode, which we will get to. And you could have just done wherever your team is, right? Like whoever's first for the race, the team wins type of deal. You could have done that, because like, again, I like the whole idea of the team aspect, and in some parts it's really cool, but it holds you back at times. And I've lost races not because I was last place, but because my teammates weren't, they weren't in a better position, and it's infuriating because I feel like I just wasted my time. Right, especially when I'm doing all I can do, but you're so far back and you're not taking my help. What can I do then? It is frustrating and infuriating, and I think it's a bit of a flaw to this game, because for the most part, the NPCs, the CPUs, they're pretty smart for the most part, but there are moments like that where you're just like, what are you doing? And it annoys you. So all the different modes that you can get. Like I said, there is a adventure mode. And the adventure mode showcases pretty much all of the different types of modes you could do. Now, the ones that you can do on your own in like the main menu is you can do exhibition races, of course, where you just pick a track and go have fun. You can, when doing a race, make modifications to it. Like you can up how many laps you do. You can... how many racers do you want? The max you can go is 12 racers. You can go down to make it just be 2 racers, right? Like a one-on-one type of deal. And then you can change the lap time as much as you want. How many laps you do. Then there is Grand Prix mode, which is a Grand Prix. You do a Grand Prix, which is about 4 tracks in a row, and points are there, and points are accumulated, and whoever has the most points at the end wins the Grand Prix. This is where the points system probably should have been in the game, is just the Grand Prix. But that's fun, right? Like, Grand Prix are great. You do Grand Prix during the story mode, and some of them are placed properly, some of them aren't. Like, some of them, like, are placed as, like, your third mission, and you're like, what? I'm doing a Grand Prix as third? Yeah, they placed them kind of weird in the story mode. But the other ones you can do is Egg Pawn Assault. These are now more so mini games, and these ones are kind of exclusive to story mode. You can't do them in the exhibition. You have to go into the story mode and find them to do them. So you have Egg Pawn Assault, which is essentially you get a bunch of rockets and you have to take down a bunch of egg pawns. And, you know, there's different colors. Each color awards you different points. They do different things. Some of them are bombs. You don't have to avoid them, you know, stuff like that. That is Egg Pawn Assault. Then there is the Ring Challenge, which is you just have to collect a certain amount of rings before the time runs out. Then there is Daredevil, where you have to go through the ring posts that you would normally see that give you checkpoints in the 2D games. You have ring posts, and you have to go through these like rings that are on the side of them. There is a green one and a red one. The red one is the one that gives you the most points, and essentially you just have to go through a bunch of them and make sure you get enough points before the time runs out, essentially. In some of these, you can get time added. Like in Egg Pawn Assault, you get time added every time you kill an egg pawn, right? In Daredevil, you don't. You don't get any time added for going through a ring or anything like that, which is, I think, a misstep. I think that's something that should have been added. During this challenge, if you drift while going through one of the rings, you get an extra bonus as well. Then we have Target Assault, which is essentially there is targets, right? Like dartboard targets, and you have to just break them and get as many points as you can before the time runs out. Now, this one you do get time added when you break targets, which is nice. There's of course different types of targets. Some targets give you more points than others. And you are equipped with rockets to help you. And this one took me a bit of a while to get, but once I got it, I'm like, oh, I see what I'm supposed to do. And then there is Showdown. Showdown is something that is used in the story mode during the final chapter, and that's essentially you just versus all of Eggman's lackeys, right? It's like the whole race is filled with your team, right? So that's 3 people. Then Eggman's team, which is Eggman, Metal, and Zavok, and then the rest is filled with egg pawns. And you can actually destroy egg pawns during the races and they will go away. They will respawn eventually, but you can do that. You can destroy the egg pawns and eliminate them from the race temporarily. That's what Showdown is. It's just you versus all of Eggman's army, essentially. It really just operates like a normal 3-lap race, though. Now, there's different types of cars. There's 3 different types of cars. There is Speed type, Technique type, and Power type. Speed type, as you can tell, prioritizes speed. Technique type prioritizes handling. So they make it so that way you should be able to drift better, right? Like your control of the car is a lot better. And then there's Power type. Power types, they can like hit enemies more. They are the ones who actually can unveil secrets on the track, because there's secret shortcuts on every track. The Power types are the ones who can burst through them and unlock them. So there's that. I mainly play the Speed types because I prioritize speed, because speed wins me a race. Then there are the cast of characters, okay? So the cast for characters is questionable in this. It should be noted that in this game was when we got the new voices for Zavok, Silver, and Knuckles. Now again, Silver and Knuckles may have been recast in an Olympics game by this point. But this was the first time like Sonic fans who just play these games would have noticed that they have a new voice cast. So going on that, Zavok's voice is okay. Silver is voiced by Bryce Papenbrook, so I kind of gotta back my boy here. Even though his voice isn't that good, right? It's not the best voice for Silver. He's still Bryce Papenbrook, so I do gotta back him. And then Knuckles is voiced by Davey Mitchell, and Dave is great. He's a great voice for Knuckles. So I really have no problem with the new voices. This gets into our teams. So our teams for the game, there is 5 teams you can do. There is Team Sonic, which is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, doing the Sonic Heroes thing. There's Team Rose, which is Amy, Big, and the Chow. Yes, it's 3 Chow in the car, and then the car is mainly driven by Omo Chow. What are we thinking? Where's Cream? That's the big question. Where's Cream? So that's Team Rose, and that's a stupid decision right off the bat. Then you have Team Dark, Shadow, Rouge, Omega. Makes perfect sense. I completely understand. Then there is, I guess what? Will we Team Futuring this? It's Blaze, Silver, and Vector. One of these things is not like the other. So they mentioned in the story mode that the reason that the Chaotix aren't here is that Vector's freelancing for the bit, and that's all they give you. It's just like, oh, he's freelancing, right? That doesn't explain it. You should have just had the Chaotix as another team, right? Then you could have had 6 teams. Who would have replaced Vector for Team Future? Just do Marine. Marine would have been there. Just do that instead. But yeah, that's an odd choice for teams. And then there is Team Eggman, which is Eggman, Metal, Zavok. Zavok, who is here because Sega will not let the Deadly Six just go away. Now, a big part of this game is the mods. You have modifications you can add to your car. This is the customization aspect. You can get paint jobs for your car. You know, you can like physically change, you know, the paint for like, you know, the bottom of your car and the top of your car can be different, right? You can paint the wheels, all that sort of stuff. And then you can add new modifications, and each modification is essentially more cosmetic. You're changing like how the back of your car looks, how the front of your car looks. And they offer different, you know, statistics. Some of them up your speed while taking away your defense. Some of them up your power while taking away your handling, like all that type of stuff. And you can find the best car for you. So that's fun. I have not messed around with the mods too much. So I pretty much went into the story mode bare as bones, and I still won. And something that I did want to address, which is Team Sonic Racing had online capabilities. You could go and play online. I assure you that is very dead now. No one is on this. And from what I have heard when this first came out, no one was on it to begin with at the beginning, and that's part of the reason this game kind of died quickly, was that there was no online community for it as well. As well as Sega never really like provided any other updates. They just made this game and just dropped the game out. There was no DLC plan, nothing. And at times from this game, I get the sense of the feeling that this game was the barest of bones imaginable. Maybe they wanted to do more, add more to it, but from what I'm, you know, like what I feel from this game, I feel like that this was the barest of bones possible, and this was them just going, just get the game out. Just get the game out, and we'll deal with it later. We'll add patches and all that type of stuff. And from what I've told, they did add some patches at the start, and then they just kind of gave up and just went, yeah, whatever, and they moved on, because they were probably just like, yeah, we have Sonic Frontiers. Just move on to Sonic Frontiers, right? Focus on the Sonic movie coming out and all the marketing for that. Which, I mean, I guess it was a smart choice, because look at where we are with Sonic now. Sonic's much more popular than he was in 2019. So, I guess it worked, but for this game, it's kind of like, it's a shame you kind of just left this game in the dust. So there we go. That is my review of Team Sonic Racing. What do I think? I think it's a solid racing game, honestly, overall. I got my criticism for it. It's got its problems. You know, it does infuriate you like a racing game normally does, but not to the point where I want to hate it, right? Where it's just like bad design. There is, of course, some bad design choices there. Like, again, your teammates holding you back is the biggest one. Also, they keep the CPU chooses the same characters over and over and over again to, like, be on your ass. Like, I can't tell you how many times Amy Rose in a race just doesn't leave me alone. And it gets annoying. I would like some variety on who my opponent is, right? It's got problems there. But I do think that overall, this is a solid racing game. I do think that. I do think this is a solid racing game. I think that it's fun. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different modes you can do. It's not just racing. You can as well turn off the team mechanic. If you don't want to do the team mechanic, you can just have a standard normal race as well. You can do that for story mode, but when you play free play, you can do just standard Grand Prix or standard exhibition without having to deal with the teammates. And if you do that, then your ultimate changes and your ultimate music becomes specific to that character. Like Sonic, I believe, gets Reach for the Stars from Sonic Colors. Shadow gets All Hail Shadow. Omega gets the Team Dark theme from Sonic Heroes, which is the best one. Gotta be honest with you. So that's cool. Yeah, I still like this game. I still think it's a good game. Again, got problems with it, but it's a solid racing game. And as someone who's played a lot of racing games, that's great to hear. I'm always for racing games, right? I'm always for them. So yeah, Team Sonic Racing, for me, I give it 7.5 out of 10 is where I would put it. You know, it's a solid racing game. Not the best, but definitely, like, people's like, you want to play around at TSR? I'd be like, yeah, sure. I'm not against that. But there we go. Team Sonic Racing is done for me. If you guys have played the game, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. If you haven't played the game and you're wondering, like, recommendation, do I get it? I'd say it's worth the time. Like, it's definitely worth to play a bit, right? Absolutely. Thank you all so much for listening, and guys, see you next time.